Ladies and gentlemen, if you will take your seats at 6 o'clock, and we will call the meeting to order. Chancellor. Yes. Welcome to the April 20th meeting of the Board of Trustees of Tarrant County College District. We're glad you could join us. Public comment, Mr. Gates. We have a group to acknowledge, and I'm going to ask Dr. Morrison to do that.
Good evening. Thank you for this privilege, Madam President, to the fellow board members and the Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen. This week marks the 41st anniversary of my election to the board. The runoff election was actually held April 24, 1976, and I was actually signed in on April 26. So you'll get a connection between these numbers in just a minute. This summer, Fort Worth will host the 81st Annual Convention of the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Clubs, Incorporated. And thanks to my older sister, Ethel Caldwell, I've been a member of that club since I was 13. Having the National Convention come here, I thought it was really imperative that I implement one of the programs. I co-founded a local adult women's club here in 1975, and that club is still active and will celebrate their 42nd anniversary next Saturday at the Fort Worth Club. But another emphasis of that organization is a collegiate club, and we had not done that. So having the very supportive administration that I have here in the district, the South Campus, I broached the idea to a very button, proud, pop-in president of South Campus who said yes and assigned administrators to help with me. So tonight it's my pleasure to introduce to you the newly chartered Beta Psi Club, which was chartered this afternoon. It has gone through all of the national credentials, and today we had their official chartering on South Campus. Now, Mrs. Appleman already met some of these young women because she spoke to them earlier this week. You'll see that flyer. Beta Psi worked with the business club on South Campus to present women in business. And of course, Mrs. Appleman was one of those featured speakers. And so tonight, I'd like our two sponsors that are here, Ms. Elisa Jones and Dr. Natalie Johnson, to come and to bring some of the members from the Tarrant County College South Campus Beta Psi Club. Ms. Alyssa Dawes is the president. Ladies and gentlemen, please come. So, of course, on the collegiate level, the club is open to all college-enrolled students. It's a very inclusive group. This is just a small representative number this afternoon. We had approximately 20 college students inducted. These are our two sponsors, Dr. Natalie Johnson, who is a photographer extraordinaire, and Ms. Alyssa Jones, who's director of CIE on South Campus, and Dr. Johnson is a math professor on South Campus. Ms. Dawes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charlicia Dawes. I'm the president of Beta Psi at Tarrant County College South. And as a new organization on campus this semester, we're often asked what exactly is Beta Psi. And so I wanted to take a brief moment to share a little bit of information with you all about who we are and what we do on campus. Beta Psi is a collegiate branch of the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Club. It took a while to learn that, but I did.
Great.
It is the first of its kind in the Tarrant County College District. And we're dedicated to service, and we lean towards business and professional students, but our membership is open to all students on campus because we believe that our program can impact everyone. Our name stands for bold, energetic, trustworthy, aware, positive, sincere, and ingenious. I feel this most accurately depicts the characteristics of our members in our organization today. Our program focuses on making a positive impact in the community through involvement, membership, political awareness, activism, commitment, and technology. Through our student organization, the opportunities for continuing self-development and service to the community are boundless. For example, our members can volunteer for various service projects on and off campus, enhance their leadership skills, public speaking skills, and presentation skills, and even gain proficiency in parliamentary procedure. Most importantly, this club teaches our members how to effectively network and communicate. And I do recall Dr. Giovannini stressing the importance of networking and making those connections on and off the campus in your future career. And so I did want to highlight that. Whether you're distributing a resume or promoting your business as an entrepreneur, our students do realize that their success can sometimes depend on their ability to make those connections. And one of the things that I actually personally love about being in this club is that it challenges you to actually tap into your potential and step out of your comfort zone. Public speaking is one of my biggest fears, and standing up here today is just, I've grown throughout this organization, and it's helped me to gain some confidence to stand before you here today. And so I'm very appreciative of everything that Beta Psi does. We also have one of our members, just to highlight, Karen is in the business club. She's the secretary of that organization, which we collaborated with, and we met Ms. Appleman yesterday. And she was actually just elected as our new Student Government Association president for the upcoming year. And it was through Beta Psi that she gained some leadership skills and gained that confidence and had our full support to actually run and successfully be elected as our new president. And so that's just a few of the things that Beta Psi does, and we are so grateful to have your support in recognizing us here today. Thank you.
So, Charlicia, just for a second, would you tell them your major and your current status?
I am graduating this semester, and I'm majoring in criminal justice, and I'm transferring to UTA.
Okay, so I'd like for each of the other four people to please do that.
Hi, I'm Beatra. I'm Charlicia's mom, and I'm a new student. I just started here this summer, this session.
Good for you.
Hi, I'm Karen Duarte Escobar, and I'm finishing my second semester at TCC South Campus, and I'm majoring in business, and I plan to transfer either to Texas Wesleyan University or UNT.
And that's your new SGA president
Yes,
for South Campus.
I would like to invite you all to our induction ceremony. It will be Monday, April 24th at 3:30 p.m. on South Campus. If you're interested, Dining Hall. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Good evening. My name is Megan Jackson, and I am the treasurer for Beta Psi. I am not only a Beta Psi member, but I am a part-time employee with TCC under Miss Alicia Jones. I work with the Generation Hope program, which I truly have enjoyed, and I love kids, so my major is in education, and I'll be transferring to Tarleton State in Fort Worth.
My name is Michael Hamilton, and I graduated from TCC, and I'll be attending Tarleton in the fall. My degree is in business, and I will be going for a bachelor's degree in business in the fall at Tarleton. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Yolanda Hamilton. I will be graduating this May from TCC South Campus. My degree is for business with a focus on hospitality and tourism, and I will be transferring to UNT in Denton in the fall.
Good evening. My name is Jay Samaniego. I will also be graduating on May 16th with my Associate of Arts. I'll be transferring to TCU to major in fashion merchandising in the fall. I work at TCC part-time as well. I am the vice president of Beta Psi, proud member, and I also have my own business, Unforgettable Looks by J Style. So.
We have another one of the vice presidents here, Mrs. Almost Doctor, but she works so hard for us, she can't finish that last step. Gladys Emerson, please stand. Vice President on South Campus. It takes, to start a on-campus club, of course, you all know, but many people in the public don't know that you have to follow the rules of not only the district, but the campus, and you have to, jump through all the hoops. Well, I want to thank all of the, Dr. Jordan, you and all your staff, for helping me follow all the rules and jumping through all the hoops to get this done, decent and in order. Charlicia, you want to close out?
Again, thank you for having us this evening, recognizing the organization, and thank you, Dr. Jordan, Dr. Morrison, and the entire Tarrant County College District for supporting us.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
So, presidents, you all are invited to help welcome me to your campus. Dr. Johnson and Ms. Jones will be our expert advisors to other campus reps that want to get a Beta Psi Club started on your campus. It's a great investment. So, board members?
They're coming behind, I think they're coming behind us.
Okay, we'll sit down then.
Did you get caught in the Main
Thank
Street
you.
Festival?
So when,
We're gonna gather around.
I know it. I came
So-
from Trinity River and I came up Houston, but because Main Street shut down, everybody was on Houston. So he didn't get until 2 this morning from Austin. They were delayed in their testimony. So we're gonna get through this and everybody go home and take a nap. Yes.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. You look beautiful in your black and your red roses. All right, we have another special presentation, Stephen Smiley.
Oh, she called me Stephen. No, only my mother calls me Stephen, so.
I see. Steve.
Steve. My name's Steve Smiley. I am the incoming chair of the Joint Consultation Council. I'm a department chair of information technology on the Northwest campus. For those of you that don't know, during April is when the Joint Consultation Council kind of turns over. New officers get elected on the campuses, and the Joint Consultation Council is made up of the president and president-elect from each campus. And as the chair, I just get to hang around for another year. So, and that's my role. What the purpose of this is, we wanted to recognize the outgoing members and also have a special presentation for the outgoing JCC chair, which we're very different and have so much in common. If we talk for a few minutes, and also to introduce you to the new members. Outgoing members are presidents that didn't get elected chair, and they've gone through their leadership cycle. Karen Harrell from Northeast Campus. I would be very surprised if these people are here, because going to board meetings for 2 years, they're like, oh, cool. I didn't get elected. I don't have to go anymore like you guys do. So, but just to let you know, Stacy Metzler, she's an instructor of geology from South Campus. Dr. Jacqueline Miners, associate professor of reading on the Southeast Campus. And Irene Thrower is the department chair of communication and fine arts on Trinity River. And they've been doing this for 2 years, and their term of service is over.
Tell them we appreciate it.
And traditionally, the outgoing chair, the chair is a very difficult position. You usually deal with the administrators that are directly above you, but as the chair, you get to talk to everybody, board members, chancellors, presidents, and so you learn a lot about the college. And Dr. Tyson McMillan is a professor of computer science, and I hear the new department chair of computer science on Trinity River campus, and he performed that job very well for the past year. Excellent communicator. And
Steve and Tyson.
Oh, you want to take a picture? Okay.
Some of you will remember that not too long ago, we got a college mace, and you'll all remember that Tyson was the first bearer of the mace at the first commencement exercise.
All right. A
Thank you,
few words of
Tyson.
thanks.
President Appleman, most excellent TCC board, and Chancellor Giovannini, it has been my utmost joy to be the outgoing JCC chair. It brings my heart joy to have served the faculty, staff, librarians, and folks who elected me to that particular position. With my humble West Texas joy, I try to do my best to serve with a spirit of excellence. You learn as you go, but we've had a great team and saw the scope of this wonderful, wonderful district through the process. I'm thankful to my JCC colleagues all along that road who are here representing the faculty and who will be doing that with a spirit of excellence throughout this process as well. And you're going to continue that important tradition as well. I am pleased to report that my parents, Danny and Marcy McMillan, are here today. If you please stand and be recognized. I know they look young, and they're wonderful. They're high school sweethearts who had me at the humble age of 17 years of age, and I'm just so glad that they have inspired me to continue to pursue my best of dreams, and they inspire each of their children to do the same, and I just love my parents, and thank you for that. I'm thankful for, in their absence, my brother Danny McMillan and my little sister Brianne as well, who continue to do and make me proud in everything that they do as well. I can think of no other joy in life than to be a teacher for Tarrant County College. And through this process, I'm going to be able to do a lot more of that, and I'm very, very happy, looking forward to it. These creative ideas are flowing, and I'm coming up with all these creative assignments, and the students are like, whoa, Dr. McMillan, you should stay JCC chair. You're bringing too much at me, but I'm so happy to be back in the class. And I know where my heart is, and it's through teaching, and I certainly thank the Trinity River campus for giving me that opportunity. I learn from students just as much as they learn from me. It's an iterative process. It's a two-way street, and I really, really appreciate being able to learn from them. A student told me the other day, it was really, really interesting. He said, I met the Chancellor, and he's a cool dude. I said, yes, indeed. I concur wholeheartedly. He's a cool dude. Indeed, the Chancellor's leadership and commitment to communication and to listening. We talked about him being a man of few words, but what that means is he's listening and genuinely listening to the concerns we brought to faculty. I can truly say that he genuinely cares and listens, and I thank him for doing so in this particular role. I enjoyed, of course, working with the late and great Irma Johnson Hadley. I can tell you throughout these 3 years of service, I always thought that she was the smartest person in the room, and I'm very, very glad to have served with her and to saw that wonderful excellence in person. I also enjoyed working with Miss Angela Robinson in transition. She was very professional and wonderful in terms of working with her in this particular role as well. We on the JCC, we enjoyed the benefit of meeting monthly with administrators throughout the district and interacting with them. So the Vice Chancellor and Dr. Gates Black and the campus presidents, thank you again for your excellent work and working with y'all. The whole CALT, the whole Chancellor's executive leadership team, I thank you as well. On the JCC, I attended every board meeting for the past 3 years. Didn't miss any of them, and I've seen it grow. President Appleman, you run a meeting better than anybody I think I've ever seen. I can only try to run it with the spirit of excellence that you do, and so I'm striving to do so. I'm learning from you and your great work. I said all that to say this. It's no easy task to hold the load of the faculty voice. However, my JCC colleagues are there to help share that load, and we share it with the spirit of excellence. To the new team, I say follow the great traditions established. To Steve Smiley, the new JCC chair, I wish you all the best and success. You got my cell phone if you need it. But I remind you that I have a forward button in email, and I will press it. Indeed. Seriously, thank you all for this opportunity, and thank you for the great work you do for TCC and our excellent students of this wonderful, wonderful district. Thank you for your time.
I'd like to make just one little short comment. Your face is going to be missed in the crowd because, you know, when we're speaking, there's, you know, people kind of slow, but you've always been smiling and accepting, and we're going to miss you too at this meeting. And you didn't miss a meeting. I know you did. Okay, all right. Check it.
Anybody else?
I do have a comment. You know, I my first graduation ceremony. I hadn't even been sworn in yet. And I think that Chancellor Hadley had me sit next to you to just, I felt at home when I sat next to you that very first time I sat through the graduation. So I want to thank you very much. And you just made me smile. And every time I look out there, I really appreciate the support that you give us. And thank you for your leadership as well.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Tyson.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
I was going to quickly introduce the new members of and
Please do.
continuing members of the JCC. From Northeast, we have Leanne Reginald, and if you would, please stand and just hang out there for a minute. Assistant Professor, Government History and Student Success. And Kevin Harper, Sir President-elect from Northeast, Department Chair of Kinesiology. Northwest is Dr. Rob Little, who texted me 4 minutes ago and said he's stuck in traffic. He's the Assistant Professor of History. Melissa Perry is the President-elect, Assistant Professor of English. From South, Dr. Sharia Taylor is the President of the Faculty Association and the JCC Chair-elect, so you're going to see here for a couple of years. An Associate Professor and Coordinator of Teacher Education. And Shala Durrani, I said that right? All right, it's a complicated name. President-elect, Department Chair of Business, Computer Science, and Information Technology. On Southeast, Greg Dewhurst is the President, Professor of Music. And Charles De Saussure is the President-elect. He's an Associate Professor of Computer Science. Trinity River is William Blackburn, President, Instructor of Biology. And Dr. Mark Anderson is President-elect, Professor of Philosophy. And that's your JCC for 27-28.
We welcome you. And please know that we realize and acknowledge and appreciate the above and beyond time and effort these positions require. We
Yeah, and we have a
appreciate
wide
it.
range of talents and disciplines,
Yes.
and I think it'll be a good year. We have lots of different perspectives.
Thank you,
So,
Steve.
Steve, thank you.
That's what I get for not saying Mr. Smiley. That is so cute.
Need to call him Stephen again.
That's really sweet. You got him?
Here we go. Go, 1, 2, 3. Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.
Thank you all.
All right, I would ask the board's approval of the minutes of the meeting of March 23rd, 2017. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Dr. Morrison, seconded by Mr. Carter. Any additions or corrections, comments? All those in favor, aye. Any opposed? For those of you who are with us for the first time or who don't remember from the last time, we will move fairly quickly through the agenda because we've already been through it once at our governance committee meeting where a lot of questions were asked and issues clarified. So please know that we're not rubber stamping. There are 2 items on the consent agenda: consideration and approval of recommendations for faculty promotion in rank and awarding of tenure for the academic year 2017-2018, and consideration and approval of proposed revisions to policy BGC local. Motion to approve. Mr. Heed, second. I'll second it. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Seconded, any opposed? Seconded by Ms. Ayala, Maria. Dr. Giovannini, we have a presentation on student success.
Yes, Dr. Nancy Curie and Dr. Rosalind Walker.
Dr. Cure, Dr. Walker, welcome.
Mrs. Appleman, members of the board, Dr. Giovannini, thank you for having us this evening. I want to start with some introductions of the folks that I have with me today. This is Dr. Rosalind Walker. She's the District Director of Academic Operations and Student Learning Success. And also with us, Mr. Ryan Ferguson from Northwest Campus. He's the SI Coordinator. Ryan's waving. Maria Delgado, who is the SI Coordinator from Southeast, and 2 students, Ali Khan Fadai and Maria Nicholas, and they'll be presenting to you at the end to talk about their experience with SI with you. So thank you all. And Colleen Fitzpatrick is back there, but I don't think you can see her. She's the SI coordinator at Tenure. But thank you, Colleen. So thank you all. We'll start with a very brief overview of supplemental instruction. Supplemental instruction was developed in 1973 at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. That's important for us here at Tarrant County because we have based our program on UMKC principles. And so you'll see that we attend training sessions that are sponsored from UMKC and have used their principles throughout the development of our program. Supplemental instruction uses peer-assisted study sessions to improve student retention and success. And so how that works is that an SI leader is identified. It's someone who has completed the course that we've identified for supplemental instruction. They then, the next semester, go in, they attend that course with students, observing what's happening in the classroom, what students are getting, maybe what they're not getting. Then they go back and develop lesson plans, and then they present sessions and supplemental instruction sessions to the students. We launched our program in spring 2015, so we've been at it about 4 to 5 semesters now. We started with a pilot at South and Northwest Campus, where we built our program and based it on the success of that pilot. We ramped up fairly quickly. By spring 2015, we had hired 5 coordinators, and you've met 3 of them here today, as well as 80 SI leaders. Our focus for SI has been on high enrollment courses with highest difficulty. And so we looked at highest difficulty being that comparison of the enrollment, high enrollment, and the failure rate in the course. As I shared with you before, we have all the SI leaders and the coordinators have attended the National Training Institute at UMKC. We've been looking at expansion of the program or working with the expansion of the program since its inception in spring 2015. Again, always focusing on those high enrollment courses. And at first, we identified the courses, and now as the program has grown, we've added courses based on faculty or student interest. And so this gives you a sample, and for those of you who have seen this presentation before, we laughed that this looks like an eye chart, so we tried to organize it a little bit differently just to see the scope and quantity of courses. So under that STEM category, you'll see your biologies, chemistry, physics, math, but the RNSG is a nursing course, which is a career and technical course. The core courses are those that satisfy graduation requirements in the core. And then we also expanded to add developmental education. So those are the 2 levels of developmental math to the program. So this next slide, you have historically seen semester-based data because that's, as we've been growing the program, what we could bring to you as it was moving forth. Now that we've been at it for almost 5 semesters, we can show you some trends. So if you look at this slide, of the courses, we've been started in spring 2015 with 113 sections and a little bit over 3,200 course enrollments. And you've seen that the number of sections has grown through fall 2016. The number of enrollments have also grown. And then that participation is the number of students who have been able to participate. So we have about 32, we started with 32% of the course enrollments participating, have now moved up and consistently held that at 40%. And if you were going to benchmark that, the national average participation is 30%. So that's very good for us to see this participation. And then this next slide will show you the impact of the students served. So again, if you look at spring 2015 on the left, we've started serving about 1,006 students with 5,400 visits. That means how many times that student came and attended an SI session. And again, you'll see a 50% increase between spring 2015 and fall 2015, which is to be expected. Spring 2015, our first semester, we ramped it up district-wide, fall 2015, so you can see that growth. And so we've maintained over 10,000 visits for, again, the 3 subsequent semesters. And so that has been a good service to students. And then finally, let's take a look at the success rates, because we can, of course, count how many students are participating, but really what's important to us is, are they successful in their courses when they're using the services? So this again will show you a trend. So in spring 2015, on the red, those are the folks who did not participate in SI. Those in the blue are those who participated. You can see the success rate, meaning an A, B, or C in the course, so that's passing in the course. 59% success rate for those who did not partake of SI, and a 75% for those who did. And again, we have maintained that percentage of success over the life of the program so far. So now as we sit to talk about it, we've taken a look, and for 2016-17, we have taken a look at how we are marketing and promoting the program. So Rosalind has been working with the SI coordinators to develop a district-wide marketing strategy and promotion strategy so that students are aware of the program and they can come to participate in it, as well as faculty, because we'd like them to be participating or selecting a course. We've also expanded some of the course offerings. We've reached out to the college readiness. The college readiness program serves students who are high school graduates but who are not yet ready for developmental ed coursework. And so Rosalind has reached out and worked with that group of faculty that are teaching those courses, and the SI leaders are now going in and providing workshops for those students to help them on that pathway into developmental ed and into transfer courses. We've also expanded to make certain that as new courses are added to the curriculum that we're addressing those also. So that INRW is an integrated reading and writing course that will be new to the curriculum, and so we will expand SI to that, as well as to increase the offerings in humanities. And so the slide that I showed you previously showed the courses where we began. This now shows where we stand today and where we're headed for fall 2017. So if you look at the STEM section there, that last column shows that we're increasing the number of math offerings that we have. We're branching out into EMSP, which is EMS, Emergency Management Training. AERM is in our aviation program. So again, adding those career and technical programs to the mix. We've also expanded our core courses to add kinesiology and Spanish. You see those courses in the developmental ed section that are labeled as 0090 are the college readiness courses that we're reaching out to. And then the other category, adding music, accounting, and computer science. So again, I really want you to get the feel for that this is transfer as well as STEM, developmental education, and career and technical. So covering all of our course offerings. So what we'll be looking at for this coming fall is to increase our professional development to make certain that we're maintaining our standard and that the new SI leaders have the opportunity to go through the UMKC training. It's very important that the SI leaders maintain their level of professional development, and as we are adding new, that they have the same benefit of professional development. And the research office is also working on some additional research, because by the end of the spring semester, we'll now have 6 semesters of data that we can take a look at. So we'll be taking a deeper dive, as research would say, and providing some additional research on student success measures as we move forward. And so what I'd like to do now is to invite Maria Nicholas from Southeast Campus to the podium, and she can share her experience with you all.
Hi. I'm sorry, a little short. Oh, there you go. Okay. I'm a little nervous, so here we go. Good evening. I do want to thank you for inviting me tonight. Again, my name is Maria, and I attend TCC's Southeast Campus. A little bit about me. I'm a mother to a 1-year-old little boy and a 17-year-old young man that just took his ASVAB test this morning for the Air Force. And he will graduate this June from high school. In the last 17 years, I've worked for a mail-order pharmacy for a little over 10 years. After that, I got my insurance license to sell property and casualty. It was a good job, but it wasn't the career that I wanted. I was supposed to be a nurse. So 17 years later, I gathered my support group, saved my last few paychecks, and enrolled into the 2017 spring semester. The days leading up to day 1 in college, I was a nervous wreck. I managed to sign up for 2 fast-track math courses. One was the developmental class for math to get me up to my college level. And the second one was the math statistics class or course, which is required for my nursing program. And so I thought to myself, are you ready? These are 16-week classes crammed into 8 weeks each. So then, next question was, did you bite off more than you could chew? But then there was Eves. He was introduced to us the first day of class as our supplemental instructor leader. And so I was excited. Eves was there to help us after each class session. He did stay an hour after, and he even stayed a little longer. And if I didn't understand the material, he would teach me a different way. If I thought that I understood the material, he would quiz me. And if there was an upcoming test, he would challenge me to make sure I knew my stuff. Just like many of my classmates, Eves was a lot younger than I am, but along with his help, he showed me respect and treated me the same as my peers. So needless to say, I passed the first 8 weeks, earning the highest grade in class. We are now in statistics, and so far so good, as long as Eves is there. So to me, he's my reinforcement, and he gives me a lot of confidence. And so knowing that these types of resources are on the campus, I see that TCC actually helps students to succeed, even students who decide to come back 17 years later. So I hope to see more like SI leaders in my future courses. This will definitely give me the confidence to achieve my goal to becoming an RN. So again, thank you so much for allowing me to speak, and thank you for the wonderful resource where I gained knowledge. I gained a new friend, my SI leader, Eves. Thank you.
And Mr. Ali Khan Fadai from Northwest Campus.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ali Khan, and I'm a supplemental instruction leader at Tarrant County College Northwest Campus. A little bit about myself. Prior to coming to TCC, I was attending a four-year university. I was enrolled to major in chemical engineering, and the only things I knew about chemical engineering was the fact that it involved chemistry, and I really liked the way that the median salary looked. So I was a little ill-prepared to kind of tackle on these really difficult courses, and with my unrefined time management skills within 3 semesters, I ended up dropping out of the University of Illinois, but I ended up transferring here to TCC. That left a really big impact on my confidence. I felt like I wasn't ready to take on college coursework again, despite how much success I had in high school. So my first bio class, which is a class I have not taken in over 4 years, I haven't taken a bio class in a really long time, I sit down and some guy comes up to the front of the class and introduces himself as my SI leader. And at that point, I thought, okay, this is an opportunity I have to take advantage for because you can't mess up again. So I attended SI sessions, and lo and behold, attending regularly not only gave me access to lots of course materials, it also gave me confidence in the classroom as well. And as the semester progressed, and as I kept succeeding in that classroom, I went up to my SI leader and I told him, I want your job. So a couple months later, I ended up walking into Ryan's office and I sat down with him and filled out an application. And in little to no time, I was an SI leader for both summer sessions and these last 2 semesters as well. The SI program has made a huge impact on my life, and I feel like it's helped me develop personally and professionally as well. I can communicate my thoughts a bit more effectively. I can add humor and levity to conversation. I feel as if I can learn and work harder and, sorry, communication. I feel as if I've learned to work smarter and not harder. So not spending hours and hours trying to study one thing, but kind of doing it in a more effective way. And I feel like I've learned that through the activities that I've done in SI. So through the success that I've had through this program, next semester I'll be transferring to UT Dallas and I'll be studying biomedical engineering. And I do have a better idea of what that's about, and I am doing research this summer at that campus, so don't worry too much about me. I just wanted to thank everybody responsible for giving me access to this program and for making sure that it's the success that it is today.
Do you have any questions for us?
Well, I don't have a question, but I want to say I'm so happy to hear these success stories. We branched off into SI, and I'm so glad that it had the impact that we thought it would. And thank you, all of you, who've made it be that way. Your leadership has been obvious, and we're so grateful. I can really tell that it has made tremendous impact in the lives of students. Thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm just amazed. I mean, this is, you have our full support. We saw some figures about a year or so ago, and now this is a continuation, and we'd sure like to keep it on track, you know, to see what you're doing in the future. This is just fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
And best wishes for continued success to all of you. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Dr. Carey. We lost Mr. Carter. I want you to come back and report to us what great things you're doing. Where's my nursing friend? There you are. Great choice of career. Both Ms. Robinson and I are nurses. You'll go lots of different directions.
All right, everybody look this way. Go, 1, 2, 3. Good, thank you.
But you'll always have a job. And how did that go? There are no committee reports this month, so moving on to item number 10. Ms. Petty, consideration and approval of a deductive change order with Archer Western CARCON joint venture for construction of Tarrant County College Energy Technology Center on the South Campus for credit in the amount of $2,244,347.42.
Good evening. I always like starting the evening with a deductive change order.
Yes.
This is for our Energy Technology, our Center of Excellence at the South Campus, and it finalizes our financial obligations between Tarrant County College and Archer Western, our general contractor. And we hope you approve it so that we can take this $2.2 million and put it towards other student success initiatives.
Motion to approve. Mr. Heed wants to approve
Second.
that one. Seconded by Mr. Greenhill. Questions, comments? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Number 11, consideration and approval of job order general contractor services agreement with Basecom to provide construction services for the renovation of the drawing lab in the Fine Arts Building on Northeast Campus in the amount of $115,353.35. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Greenhill, seconded by Mr. Heed. Questions of Ms. Petty? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm sorry, thank you, Ms. Ayala. One abstention.
Yes, I'm abstaining.
Item number 12, consideration and approval of contract with C. Green Scaping LP to provide construction services for the development of Nature Discovery Center on Northwest Campus in the amount of $217,735. Motion to approve. Dr. Patrick, seconded by Mr. Heed. Any questions, comments, discussion? All those in favor, aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, consideration and approval of cooperative purchasing network agreement with weatherproofing services to restore roofs per district-wide roofing assessment in the amount of $685,780.61. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Greenhill, seconded by Mr. Heed. Questions, comments? All those in favor, aye. Any opposed? Item number 14, consideration and approval of cooperative agreement with Texas Air Systems to provide chillers for the South Campus, not to exceed $1,100,000. Motion to approve. Dr. Patrick?
Second.
Mr. Greenhill, questions, discussion, comments?
I had one question. I meant to ask this during our committee meeting. Have you looked in, as your department looked into any different kind of technology? You know, we're still using old water chillers, and there may be some other technologies out there. Do you look into those on a regular basis?
Absolutely. We do on an ongoing basis, always look at trends and, you know, if you want specific information, I can certainly have Walt Williams come up and answer specific questions for you. But I think we're probably state-of-the-art in terms of what we do as a district. And I think the benefit is we have 2 engineers on staff as part of our planning team that spend a lot of time planning and designing for these types of work that we do. So we're certainly willing to give you as much information as you want on this.
Okay, well, we just encourage you to keep looking for new and better systems because they're out there.
Yep, absolutely. I think we're cutting edge, I really do, in terms of what we do as a district. And we do a lot of interfacing with other districts and what they're doing to make sure, you know, that we're not missing something. But we spend a lot of time in the whole designing and planning stage before we ever get to bringing you an item for approval, for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Other questions, comments? All those in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Petty. Not on the agenda, but privilege of the presiding officer. On April the 6th, the Real Estate Commission had their annual meeting, and they honored one of our own with the founders, the Susan A. Halsey Founders Award. It's to recognize people who have shaped Fort Worth and promoted the mission of the organization. Guess who won it this year? And these are some of the photos from the meeting. Don't you trash my yard on the way home tonight. Congratulations, Nina. You make us proud, and we're glad to have you representing us. Looks like a nice evening. Item number 15, Ms. Robinson. Consideration and approval of a renewal of contract with Texas Industrial Security to provide security services for Tarrant County District, not to exceed $716,400. Motion to approve. Is that Dr. Patrick? Okay. Seconded by Mr. Heed. Questions of Ms. Robinson? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 16, consideration and approval of purchase of Amatrol training equipment with Lab Systems, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $146,264. Mr. Rand. Motion to approve. Mr. Heed.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Ayala. Any questions of Mr. Rand? Any comments?
Greatly appreciate the support.
All right. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Dr. McClendon?
Madam Chairman, Chancellor, good evening. All right, this is the month of March 2017. We're in the 7th month of our fiscal year, so we will be reviewing everything over 70%. Our total income is similar as last year, and right now it's sitting on 88%. Expenses, as mentioned, we will be reviewing expenses greater than 70%. Most high percentages will reflect prepaid expenses or encumbrances reflecting a benefit beyond the fiscal year. Finance and I have reviewed all items that are greater than 70% and have found no new items to highlight which have not been mentioned previously. Overall expenses are 59%, and last year they were 58%. Investments. Okay, if we wanted to look at our investments, so if we look at our pools, we have a decrease of $12.5 million. On our short-term interim from 90 days to 180 days, we have no activity this month. If we look at our U.S. agency securities, we have no activity. What you're doing is just seeing the interest is at 34,059. And if we look at our total portfolio, we had a beginning balance of $369 million. As mentioned, we have a decrease of $12.5 million, giving us an end-in balance of $356.6 million. Our yield is 1.02%. And our spread is 0.3%. Our WAM is 344 days. Any questions?
I love that word, wham. Any questions of Dr. McClendon? He's keeping us solvent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chancellor?
Yes, Dr. Jordan has a new staff introduction.
Good evening, Chancellor Giovannini, President Appleman, members of the board. I'm pleased to introduce to you Vicki I. Ansorge as the new Divisional Dean of Humanities on South Campus. Prior to coming to Tarrant County College, Dr. Ansorge was Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs and Dean of the College at Silver Lake College in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. She began her career at Silver Lake College as instructor of English and was awarded subsequent promotions to full professor. She also served in several administrative roles, including Chair of English and World Languages, Director of Faculty Development, and Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. Additionally, Dr. Ansorge served on numerous committees with a focus on curriculum and instruction, shared governance, strategic planning, assessment and accreditation, and active learning. As Director of Faculty Development, she was instrumental in developing the Center for Teaching and Learning at Silver Lake College and wrote several successful grants to fund that initiative. She has received several awards for excellence in teaching. Dr. Ansorge has also served as a communication consultant for several corporations as well. A native of Wisconsin, she received a BA in English from Silver Lake College, an MA in British and American Literature from Marquette University, and a doctorate in higher education leadership from Edgewood College in Madison, Wisconsin. She has 3 daughters. The oldest lives in San Francisco, and her twins are juniors at DePaul University in Chicago. Help me welcome Dr. Vicki Ansorge in her new role.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. I can't express how much being invited here means to me, as well as being invited to become part of the TCC district family. I was myself a product of community college education. As a small girl, my mother became a single parent and worked 2 jobs to keep food on the table. So going to college wasn't something that I considered. I was the first in my family, with the encouragement of a guidance counselor in my high school, to consider college, the only one in my generation. And it was something that was life-changing for me and led me down a different path. It was astounding. When I was at Silver Lake College in Manitowoc, I really did not think I ever wanted to be an administrator. I really thought I wanted to teach because it was about students. When I became an administrator, somewhat kicking and screaming, I discovered that really was another way of serving students, a really important way of serving students to bring that cohesive vision to the faculty and make sure that students are being served, making sure that innovations come to the classroom. When I began to consider changing my career path, looking at a different place, a new challenge, I knew a couple of things. I knew that I wanted to work someplace where there were underserved populations, because that was the population I knew and loved from Silver Lake College. And I knew I wanted to live someplace that was not any colder than Wisconsin, which eliminated most of the country, by the way. I really didn't know a lot about Texas and Texas's higher education system, and a friend of mine who is also in higher education mentioned that I should look at the Texas system. And as I began to research the Pathways projects that are coming out of Texas, I was really amazed by what they were doing. I realized that if I would have had a pathway like that when I was a student at a community college, my road through higher education would have been much, much different. So it was first looking at Texas and then looking at Tarrant College and recognizing that the student population was very much the same as the student population that I had fallen in love with at Silver Lake College, that it was a place that I wanted to investigate. When I came to Tarrant County South to interview, I was astounded by the students. I was interviewed by a group of students, and they were bright, and they were engaged, and they were so passionate that the new Dean of Humanities be someone who would listen to them and work with them and be a voice for them. And then when I met with Dr. Jordan and Dr. Grove, and they began to talk about their active learning initiatives, I knew that I was sold. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Giovannini, and you, Madam President, and Board for inviting me to become part of the TCC family.
We welcome you.
Mrs. Appleman, Dr. Coronado has some good news for us to share.
Thank you. I'll be very brief here. Mrs. Appleman, members of the board, Dr. Giovannini, thanks for this opportunity to brag about our faculty and staff. Over the last 12 weeks, we've participated in two challenges in their fitness challenge. One is It's Time Texas Challenge. It's a statewide health challenge, and the Fit Worth, which is a local city Fort Worth initiative. Both of these are designed to build healthy habits and lifestyles. So in this challenge, we had 340 communities, including cities, companies, schools, nonprofits, and colleges who participated across Texas. There were 24,636 registered participants in the challenge. And these participants logged in weight loss, exercise activity, and healthy eating. Faculty and staff participated in the Fort Worth Corporate Cup, too, and this was made up of Fort Worth employers who participated. Also, the It's Time Texas Challenge, TCC participated in the Metro College Division and Leaderboard. So the results should not surprise you, but they should make us all proud of faculty and staff at TCC. We won first place in the Fit Worth Corporate Challenge for employers over 250. Yes, very great. And we won the largest number of points citywide, too, in the Fort Worth employers' participation. In the largest number of points in any employer in Fort Worth who participated in the Metro colleges and universities in Texas, TCC won first place in the leaderboard, earning the largest number of points in the over 50,000 student category, including the University of Texas at Austin. Notice that I looked at you when I said that, right?
Take him off.
And Texas A&M, the two flagship institutions of Texas. I had the opportunity to attend both and graduate from both, but TCC somehow beat both of them. So what does all of this mean? It means we have very committed faculty and staff committed to a healthy lifestyle, which results in a more productive, healthy, competitive group of faculty and staff who serve and support our students. Let me recognize a few of the champions and leaders that are standing behind me and help me join in giving a hand to them for all the work they've done in leading and be recognized for what they've done. One of them I'd like to point out is Rhonda. Rhonda, if you'll raise your hand. Rhonda earned some of the largest points at Tarrant County College. So the other day I asked Rhonda, do you want to go run after work? She said, yeah. I said, how far are we going to run? She said, 9 miles. I said, how about just a 5K in 3 miles? So they're outstanding athletes and healthy individuals. So Tim Johnson, Alma Martinez Edgar, Rhonda Seifield, and Crystal Phil. So thank them for helping us win those. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations. You make
Thank
me
you.
tired
Any
just
questions?
talking about it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any more? Dr. Giovannini is being modest. He once again has a 2-page single-space list of people and places that he's been, including a very long day in Austin yesterday. He and Dr. McIntosh, I think, were delayed in their testimony, and he missed his flight. What time did you get home? 2 a.m. or so? Mm-hmm.
Yes, 2 a.m. or so.
Welcome to the Texas legislature. Right, Dr. Patrick? Dr. Patrick said when she first got into the legislature, she had no idea they had all-night meetings.
The sleep deprivation factor.
All right, this has been a busy month already, and I have a list that exceeds what you see before you. I'm going to start with a report from Ms. Ayala and Dr. Patrick on the Board of Trustees Institute that they attended in Santa Fe.
Well, can everybody hear me? Yeah, okay. The BOTI focused really on the role of the board and also the college on improving student success. Several colleges that were there shared their strategies and some of the initiatives. And what resonated with me was how the level of honesty that they had to sit down as a board and talk about, these are the things we need to do. We really need to make some systemic type changes. And some of the questions that they talked about that they considered when they were sitting down and deciding how to move that needle and making sure that they're improving student success was they asked, how do we change our focus from a system or an institution that works well for most of the students into one that is focused on helping all of the students? And then it also, one of the things that they asked themselves was, how do we fulfill our mission in a way that differentiates us from others? And for me, and I think for Dr. Patrick and Dr. Giovannini as well, is, we know that we have the people. We have everyone here that's committed to helping with student success. And that's going, for me, is going to differentiate us from other colleges. But one of the other things it talked about is that we have to continue to assess ourselves. We have to continue to evaluate ourselves as a board. We have to evaluate the work that we're doing every day. We need to evaluate our performance, the services that we're providing, the practices, the traditions, the behaviors. Everything that we're doing today, we need to evaluate that and make sure that we're doing that in order to make sure that we're helping our students become successful. So once we evaluate all of that, we need to decide what matters most to us. We categorize those things, and we prioritize them, and we remain laser focused on those priorities. So I think that we have the framework, and they talked about supplemental instruction here. We have the framework that's already in place. We just have to keep moving forward. So.
Well, thank you. This was my, obviously, first time to attend this meeting, and it was really a wonderful meeting and a good opportunity to work with other new board members in learning about different projects that are taking place at other community colleges in Texas. And in particular, the Pathways projects that was mentioned earlier was heavily emphasized throughout the entire 2 days that we were there. So it was a very beneficial meeting, and again, an opportunity to work with Ms. Ayala and Dr. Giovannini and learn more about how we can do a better job as board members. And I particularly like the part about the board evaluation of themselves. I think that's important. So thank you for sending us. That was great.
Thank you. And a trip just a little farther away, Cuba. Mr. Heed and Dr. Cheryl Harris is. Oh, there she comes. She is here. We couldn't see you.
We didn't see you, Cheryl. I wanted to give a little background on what the trip was all about. It was primarily a Rotary trip to send a container load of wheelchairs to Cuba, working with Caritas Cuba, which is the Catholic Charities organization in Cuba. Wheels turn very slowly in a totalitarian communist society, and we expected to go with the wheelchairs, but they're not even close to being there yet. But we went on our trip anyway to see what it was all about and to do some other things that Cheryl will talk about. Overall, I think the conditions that we saw were very much better than we anticipated. It's a changing society over there, or at least a changing environment. And it's very interesting to go over there to see it now before it all changed, including all the old cars and all that kind of stuff. It is a socialist system, and although you see some improvements, the workers, they're making $20 a month. Doctors make between $30 and $50 a month, which is just horrible. They do get free medical care, they get free education, but you can see that they have a long way to go before they're a democratic society. I think just to kind of sum up things, that there you can see changes, and you can see that it's all going to be for the tourist industry, and it's going to be another revolution. They talk a lot about, I mean, the revolution 59 years ago, they still talk about Che Guevara, they talk about Castro, both Castros, particularly Fidel, and that's live in their minds today, 59 years later. What's been described to us is they're undergoing another revolution. It's a revolution of ideas, because there's tremendous potential in Cuba. I mean, it's so close to the United States, and they have a lot of opportunities. But they're going to have some really serious changes in the government in how they do business. They are allowing a little entrepreneurism in there now, but it's got a long ways to go. And we went over there. Another purpose is that we talked about taking some of our students over there. And Dr. Harris, you can.
Absolutely. Thank you, President Appleman, Chancellor Giovannini, Board, and Mr. He. Thank you so much for the inclusion for the comments this afternoon. Before I get started, I would like to introduce you to one of our students, our Global Student Ambassador, Madison Ryan, from our Northeast Campus. Mrs. Appleman participated last week. We co-sponsored one of our several conferences throughout Tarrant County. We partnered with the Hispanic Women's Network, Women's Policy Forum, Fort Worth Sister Cities, and us. And we had the closing dinner at our Trinity River East campus. Our students that participate in our global activities, especially Salzburg, are encouraged to perform service. Encouraged strongly. They have to provide hours, give hours back to the college. And so there were, I think, about 6 last week that were there that I could not have done it without them setting up, serving as hostesses, a welcoming guest, and so forth. And Madison was one of those that you met. So we're glad that she's here this afternoon. You may have some questions for her later. But I wanted to share with you just a little bit about the Cuba trip. Am I advancing? Okay. Okay. And all this photography is mine, so if you see any flaws in it, then you can just say you're not a good picture taker. But the purpose of this trip was really to explore opportunities for our students for study abroad as well as exchange. And it was a parallel trip to the Rotary trip. And I say parallel trip because I wanted to replicate the student experience more. So the Rotarians were going to stay in a very nicer hotel. And I was going to stay in a bed and breakfast. That was an experience. And so, but it was the experience that our students will have. And so being very cognizant of how we spend our taxpayers' dollars, it was important that we make this trip as cost effective as possible. And so that we did. Oops. Okay, so when we went, we first had identified the programs of nursing in Spanish, and this came from over a year ago. Mr. Heed visited with Carlos Alzugaray. Some of you may remember him, ambassador from Cuba, came to speak at one of our activities and events. And Mr. Heed thought it would be a great idea to have wheelchairs delivered to Cuba and perhaps reignite that Rotary relationship there in Cuba. And just so happened, Dr. Alzugaray's father, I think, grandfather, founded the Rotary Club there in Havana. So those were the 2 programs that we went to look at specifically at opportunities while we were there. So while there, the Rotarians were doing some tours and so forth, but I got to tour some other things. I looked at colleges. I went to the University of Havana, the University of Information Science, Agriculture University of Havana, and the University of Medical Science. All very interesting. Remember, I was looking for nursing in our allied health programs and so forth in that visit primarily. I also visited medical facilities, 2 of the over 400 polyclinics, which are the first line of health care there in Cuba. And I will say this, that Cuba's longevity is greater than ours. Their infant mortality is much better than ours. And so as we were working with the nursing faculty here, one of our questions was, what makes the difference? Well, I visited the polyclinics, and I visited a maternity home where women actually go to have babies rather than to a hospital situation. I also visited one of the hospitals. This is Mr. Heed. there with the head of Caritas, Catholic Charities, and if I played the video, you'd hear Mr. Heat singing Guantanamero, but I just used the still shot there, and it was truly a business meeting. The idea was, when are these wheelchairs coming? And so Caritas Cuba will be in charge of onboarding those wheelchairs and getting them delivered, and our students will actually work with Caritas there in Cuba when they go, and we are planning to go this summer. So in Cuba, healthcare is available for everyone. It's socialized medicine. Everyone has access through that polyclinic. But what we determined was that the nursing program standards and conditions would not be consistent with what we saw there in Cuba for teaching. I had a picture in there, and I took it out because it was very graphic. What I saw when I went to those polyclinics, you'll relate to this. Starched white uniforms, pristine, perfect nursing caps, white hose, and white shoes. We remember those days, yes? Well, we don't, that's beautiful, but the sanitation was lacking. And I think that there would be some inconsistencies for our students as they get in, and what we're trying to teach them with universal precautions, minimizing sepsis, that they would really have some trouble. So we're going to work on the nursing program visiting, and that was the first call that I made, was to Dr. Madison to say we need to work on this a little bit more. However, we do have 3 courses that would be great fits. Sociology, what a great study for sociology. Cuba, this land that's in transition, that's 60 years behind where we are, that's socialized tremendously. They still they ration food. We went to one of the food rationing sites, so forth. Great opportunity. And so the instructor that will lead that course is Terry Strantz from our Trinity River campus. Spanish, intermediate Spanish. That's our second 2 levels. We have no immersion program here at TCC. This will be our beginnings of immersion, because the students will get to spend 10 days and speak Spanish, and they'll see if their Cubano Spanish and their U.S. Spanish can mesh. Worked out okay for me. And then the third class is photography. Our Patricia Richards from the Northeast Campus did her faculty development leave there in Cuba, and so she's been there and was excited about the opportunity to teach a class this summer. Students will pay 100% of their cost to go, but it's a very affordable trip, less than $1,500 for the full 10 days in Cuba, which is pretty amazing opportunity. And so, as we continue to reach for opportunities, we are success within reach, but spanning the globe. And so we thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have flyers
Just-
for you, just in case any of you would like to register for the class.
Thank you. Madison, would
And-
you like to say a few words? Are you going to participate this summer?
I'm actually not. I'm currently a supplemental instruction leader on the Northeast Campus, and so I'll be working, doing that, and I'm also working at an elementary school in South Haltom. I'm the assistant to the director of an after-school program.
And in your spare time?
Yeah, and I'm actually transferring to A&M next semester in the
for
fall.
you.
Yes.
Well,
I have one kind of closing note. When we were meeting with the 2 leaders of Caritas Cuba, Rotarians being Rotarians, said, what can we do to help? What do you need the most? And the one lady teared up and she says, freedom.
Thank you.
Thank you both for
Thank
coming.
you.
All right, Gina, I'm kind of gotten out of order. Are you still with me over there? Let's show the fire truck. Yesterday, and that's fake news, but the fire truck is real, and Dr. LeBlanc received that on behalf of the district from the Grapevine Fire Department, and they had an event centered around that presentation. I think Mr. Heed represented us there at the event.
Yes.
Good, thank you. think Mr. Heed was key in negotiating this gift. Well, now we have two. We were kidding Dr. LeBlanc several years ago. She was begging for one. Now she has two.
Yeah, and those fire trucks, I think, new are over $1 million.
Yeah.
And so I think Dr. LeBlanc put that on our wish list for many, many years. And so I asked her for the specifications. I took it to my fire chief. He says, we have exactly that vehicle, but it's going to take a little time to get it. Well, I bugged him till he retired, and then the new fire chief bugged him for 3 more years. So they finally got it done. So it was just great. It's worth, what, $150,000, I think, surplus, but anyway. Very good.
We received another nice gift last week on behalf of the Tarrant County College Foundation. It was the second of 2 $10,000 gifts from the Union Pacific Railroad, and it's to be used by the Generation Hope /STEM project, which we do with 14 middle schools. So that was a group of us who met with the representative from Union Pacific and happily accepted that check. The Women in Leadership Breakfast, I think, is the next photo, and I think some of our folks went and had breakfast and heard a presentation, Dr. Morrison and the mayor.
Diane, Dr. Patrick,
And there's Dr. Patrick, and who is that on the left?
that's Charlicia Dawes, and that's Mayor. And Charlicia Dawes, the president of Beta Psi.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Congresswoman Granger.
Congresswoman Granger.
Okay.
And we had some of our team from, our real estate guru was there with some of her team.
Thank you.
19.
Oh,
Can I say something?
Of course.
So, you know, Fort Worth has a USS Fort Worth ship named in our honor. And you can all become great supporters of that ship. And there are ways you can do that, and I'm sure there's a website for that. But the other thing was, I met a gentleman, and I sent it to Dr. Giovannini, who's like president of the Naval Support Group. And TCC doesn't have ROTC on any of our campuses. And I've met several people who have asked me about that. But this gentleman, Dr. Giovannini, especially would like to talk with you because we have a ship named in our honor, and we'd like to start, great support of Naval. We want to talk to you about starting a Naval ROTC or other ROTCs at TCC, because there's not a public institution in Fort Worth, Tarrant County, higher education that has an ROTC unit, TC unit. Okay, thank you.
I'll second that motion as a past naval officer.
Oh, okay.
Let's do that.
You can be chairman of the subcommittee. Thank you.
At the Phi Theta Kappa Annual Convention in April in Nashville, Tennessee, 19 college presidents received the 2017 Shirley B. Gordon Award of Distinction. And one of our presidents was one of those 17, and we congratulate him. And Ho-Hum PR once again won a raft of awards. I'm not going to read the list. It's getting kind of boring. What's for next month? Congratulations. When you all pick up your collegian today, be sure and go to page, well, it's on the front page, actually. This young man, I had the pleasure of meeting him the other night at the reception honoring Dr. Giovannini on Northeast Campus. Manav Lamikane, I hope I didn't, Lamichan? Lamichani, so all the letters are pronounced. He was born and raised in Nepal, moved to the United States in the summer of 2014 at the age of 17, and has been attending Tarrant County College since then. He's already earned his Associate of Science degree and is on course to earn the Cornerstone Honors degree. He's also, in speaking of spare time, a certified emergency medical technician and volunteers at Baylor Hospital in Irving. And he works as a supplemental instruction leader for the biology for science majors. He's going to transfer in the fall, and I asked him which university. He said he wasn't sure yet, and I said, they'll all just be lining up to get you. And he wants to major in international relations with a focus on global health, return to his native Nepal to be a trauma surgeon serving his country. So there are just so many wonderful students that we can brag on, whether or not we can take credit for them. This afternoon, some of us were at the Bolin Math Awards, and that was a room full of math geniuses that one of them got a 3-year scholarship to TCU worth over $130,000. And another one got his next year paid for at TCU, and then several of them got anywhere from $100 to $1,000, and they were very pleased. And I'm sorry, I left out the punchline. The reason we're talking about Manav is that he won the Jack Kent, excuse me, Cook Award, which only goes to 55 students around the country. So very, very special. I think that's it, right, Gina? Are we out of photographs? Gina and I had to collaborate before the meeting started. Lots of good things. Anyone else have anything they want to talk about? I do. Tonight is the last meeting of a friend of ours. Stand up, Carter. Whenever he calls, he says, "This is Carter." Straighten us out. And he's either given up on us or he's decided we're okay. And so he's going to retire, right?
That's the story.
And thanks to our wonderful staff, we have a collage. I think y'all saw some of the photographs before the meeting started, but these are more and different.
Thank you.
To honor your service, for which we are very grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. You want to take a picture?
Okay.
Thank you. I don't know about that straightened out part. One of the things I've discovered in this is that there's a lot more we to this than there is me to it. But it's been a thrilling experience to be here. I love our brick and mortar projects, but I think even more so, I love the way we've changed and been so flexible. You know, we lost an iconic chancellor. We have one who's going to be iconic in himself. I noticed the other day that every single campus president that was here when I came is gone now. No, when you're a campus for 50, when you're a college for 50 years, you wear people out. You finally do like that. You know, we have done so much in terms of not worrying so much about student enrollment and worrying about student success. Every semester, it seems our success rate goes up a little further. You know, we talked about becoming a more data-based institution. We've definitely done that. You know, we saw some of the students tonight. I'm not sure that we're always the last chance, but we're awfully close to it sometime for the people with mobility. I want to say the guy who's going to succeed me, Mr. Evans, is not here tonight, but he has been a warrior in the battle to correct social inequities his whole life. Like me, he believes education is not only the great equalizer, it's the great elevator. And he's been involved in one of the fastest growing campuses in Texas that's had great financial challenges, and they met them all. He was the president of that. So I think he's going to be quite an interesting and different addition to the board. So I feel good about him taking my seat in a way, although he ran unopposed, and I was hoping that 3 or 4 people would run against him, because at least I wanted him to do was suffer along the way. But again, I appreciate, it's been a wonderful experience for me. I love all of you. Thanks.
These chairs are. All right, thank you. We have come to the end of our regular business. We are going into closed session, deliberation of real property, section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code, deliberation on personnel matters, section 551.074 Texas Government Code, and consultation with our attorney, section 551.071 Texas Government Code. We do anticipate three rather quick items of action. I don't think we'll be in the meeting long, but you certainly are excused if you wish, and we will see you again on May 18th. Thank you for coming. The board will reconvene at 7:40. We have 3 items of business, 3 motions. We'll start with Ms. Ayala.
I hereby move that Conrad Heed be appointed to fill the vacancy of the district-appointed members of the Tarrant County College Foundations Board.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Heed. And you have the second motion, I believe.
I hereby move that the reorganization of the board, which election is to take place at the first regular meeting of the board after the election in May, be postponed until the next regular meeting in June pursuant to policy BCA, parentheses, local, parentheses, period.
Second? Dr. Morrison. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Greenhill?
Whereas in accordance with the Texas Education Code, Section 44.103, paren H in paren, the board has determined that the delay posed by the purchasing methods provided by the Education Code would substantially impair the conduct of classes or other essential activities. I hereby move that the board delegates to the Chancellor the authority to contract for replacement, construction, or repair to the northwest campus parapet walls and other related structural members of the campus.
Move to accept second.
I'll second.
Ms. Ayala. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.